not gonna bring a toothbrush?
Bro, you was waiting on that.
Ryan brings the ball back down, and now down he goes. Godchaux.
Welcome back to Chow Talk, and today we have a great episode. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Let's go. Welcome back to Chow Talk, and today we have a very special guest, my guy, good friend, Brandon Marshall. Glad to have you on the show, bro.
Finally.
Glad to have you on the show. Just want to get into it, man. Just want to, we've been following each other for a long time. We finally got a chance to connect with each other. I think we, both got, a lot of respect for one another, and I'm glad to have you on the show. But I want to ask you, my first question to you is, who is Brandon Marshall?
Yeah.
What is Brandon Marshall? We know like the great NFL career you had, but who is Brandon Marshall outside of football?
Man, I am what I speak over my life. And that's a very powerful start right there. And when I think about, what I'm speaking over my life in this season, Son of God.
Yep.
I think there was a couple of seasons where I was off track there. Without God, Jesus, I'm nothing. I'm a father.
Absolutely.
And then also, I'm really embracing two other terms outside of football player, right?
Yep.
Entrepreneur and creative. When you play ball, you don't know a lot of times how creative you are. I mean, what you do in the trenches there's a lot of creativity there. And so outside of ball, wide receiver, running routes, catching the ball gracefully like a ballerina, doing all of that, I'm learning how to be a creative, like putting this facility together, the lighting, the color palette, the logos, etc., and how we approach certain things. I'm learning how to be a creative.
Absolutely.
I just did it. Now I have to be able to communicate that, and when it comes to business, right? Like the reason why I'm saying that, because if you don't understand your creative process, it could be a challenge to a lot of people around you. So I'm learning that. And so those two things I'm really embracing right now, navigating through that creative and then also entrepreneur. Totally different ball game, just football player.
Got it. That's great to know. That's good information. But you have been known for a great media background.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Like, as a football player, you've been told football this, football that, but it was so easy for you to transition after the game. Where does that come from?
It come from purpose. It come from vision. And the prime of my career playing for the Chicago Bears, 2014. Remember, I started with Man of God, Son of God. I was connected.
Yeah.
God gave me this vision during that time, during that season, to give away $400 million to this mental health community through what I now know as my ministry. So it started there, a vision.
400 million is crazy.
400 million. Yeah. Following off season, I spent my time out Harvard building out a case study on transition. What came out of that was content and commerce. So to solve the problem that I was trying to solve, if they said you got to go to the deepest depths in the sea to accomplish this, that's what I would have done. But what came out of it when we studied Live Strong, Lance Armstrong, Boomer Esiason, Doug Flutie, Magic Johnson, Keanu Reeves, was content and commerce. So put together this play strategy. All right, let me every offseason go to ESPN, go to, E! Entertainment, hit the West Coast on the entertainment side and learn, get the reps, build the relationship. So when it's time to transition, I transition right into that thing, right? Because all I wanted was a platform to push to the commerce. Commerce being my nonprofit at the time, think about all the names that I just threw out there, those were all athletes and artists that transcended, you know, the big screen or the court or the field, and did something amazing in the community. Magic Johnson, HIV and AIDS.
Yep.
Lance Armstrong, Live Strong, cancer. So I wanted to do what Magic and essentially what Magic and Lance Armstrong did in the cancer and the HIV AIDS community in the mental health community. And so I'm just walking in purpose right now. And so when you ask me about media, it started off there, and I just took the skills and a lifestyle as a football player and applied it there. Just start watching film on myself, watching film on other people. You know, I learned in real time. Like, I was thrown out there when I went on that tour. I started getting calls from the biggest agencies out there, like, yo, we just saw you on First Take. We just saw you on ESPN. We think you're brilliant. Won't you? I didn't even know you needed a broadcasting agent. I thought my football agent was going to do. Well, first of all, I wasn't even thinking that far. Yeah. I was like, yo, I was on a 5-year plan. Like, all right, I'll probably retire, blah, blah, blah. Let me start this tour every off season. And so they start calling me right off the bat, right? Leaving Bristol, Connecticut in an airport, CAA call. WME Josh Pyatt called me. It's like, what? And a couple months later, I get this opportunity to go on Inside the NFL on Showtime. And I went on a run there for 10 years. And so I was watching James Brown in real time. Boomer, Phil Simms, yep. And, you know, all the greats there, even Gumble, you know, like.
But you made those connections in off season. Mm-hmm. You was one of the guys that took off season seriously. A lot of guys, you know, they want to, you know, and we all need a vacation. We all need a break. But I feel like a lot of guys in this day and age, especially with the NIL coming out, you know, a lot of people don't take off season serious. But you, dating back to when you came into the league, you took off season serious. You went and got internships and, you know, spoke and ESPN and Skip Bayless and all that, and you took that serious to transition yourself into a great, I look at like a guy who I look up to when it comes to doing media. Like, it's, you know, you're like the standard of doing it, because I didn't watch you on a lot of networks and, you know, doing it at a high level, and I'm like, the transition is so like just amazing that you're doing that. You know, you transition from the NFL now into this TV world, so respect to that. A lot of respect to that. But I got a couple more questions I want to ask you.
But before you transition there, it starts with purpose.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like a lot of us can do a lot of things, but what is your purpose on this planet? What has God called you to do, and do that? Absolutely. And so I've been working that same thing, and it's been extremely challenging and rewarding at the same time. And so it started there, purpose, and then you get into strategy, because and the reason why I'm saying that is because what happened right away, being in alignment, I get this opportunity. So my off seasons was actually given back to me, because I was actually doing things in season, and so I was able to just focus and train. And when there was an opportunity to speak or take a meeting with a network exec, I was doing that. So I wasn't chasing, right? So purpose, then strategy, and then it just like I just start working that process for a while.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's great to know. Why is mental health so serious, so important for you? I know a lot of athletes, we go through it, and a lot of people, you know, as men, we're labeled to be tough guys. You know, you can't show emotions, you can't cry. But just reading about you, I know you took mental health serious.
That's right.
Why is that so important to you?
My own journey, my relationship with it. Like, life was such a struggle the first couple of years in the league, right? There's new challenges, new toil, and I didn't have the skills and tools to navigate through them, right? I was messing up. And I landed at McLean Hospital in the outpatient program for 3 months. And going from where I was to being at McLean, it was like, it wasn't an aha moment. It was more like surreal and magical.
This is happening.
No, I couldn't believe. I was like, yo, like all these things I've been struggling with, you know, and it's been challenging for me. a month and a half doing the work. Now I'm on this side of it, and on this side of it, meaning more from an understanding standpoint and understanding the importance of mental health. So I was in dialectical behavior therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, self-assessment. I was doing one-on-one sessions with the great Dr. Gunderson. This was a 3-month journey every single day, Monday through Friday, right outside of Boston in Waltham, Massachusetts, right? So I was there. That became my locker room. That became my team. And then in the evenings, I would go to Reebok, where they're headquartered, and that's when I would train. And so I just focused and locked in there, man. And I just had so many breakthrough moments and so many amazing, moments where I was like, wow, like this stuff is real. Yeah. And so there is where I really understood my purpose, right? So as a ball player, it's like 6 years old, I had this dream of making it to the NFL. A lot of us are struggling or struggle because, we think that, that's what we're called to do. No, that's the thing. That's the platform. And so it was at McLean, year 7 in the league, 27 years old, where I was like, this is just the platform. Yeah. And so that's when I started that work and trying to bring it together and highlight how important it is for our mind. Like when I first came out and talked about mental health, it was taboo. They were fining me for these things. Now it's the #1 initiative in the NFL, and our foundation was the one that pounded the pavement for 3 years and, started this movement, My Cause, My Cleats, right? Yep. And so it's been a journey, but bro, it was just in that moment where I was like, whoa. And I didn't just see myself, I saw other people affected, teammates, my siblings, my neighborhood, my community. And so now it's an everyday conversation.
Do you believe that comes from, I'm a victim of it, childhood trauma?
100%. I think that's a part of it. So I'm going to use some clinical terms. The etiology behind my challenges or your challenges could be totally different. But the upbringing, 100%. Yep. 100%. The environments that we come in, the environments that we continue to put ourselves in, absolutely. And so a lot of us need to stop and do the work, to heal, to understand, to move forward. We're stuck because we don't do that work. I had 3 months to do that work. I wrote a letter to the NFL. Like,
when you say we, athletes?
People.
Okay.
Because I never put myself in a box, right? Like a lot of times as athletes, right, we make it like we want to go back to our community. I never saw this as a black thing. I never saw it as a United States thing. I always felt like God called me to do something globally. So you look at, the U.S., there's 100 or so million Americans personally affected by mental health. There's 330 million Americans. And so for every one, it touches 5 to 6, so it really touches everyone in the U.S. But then when you start going globally, it's like, damn, how does this affect people there? Nobody was talking about it. So for me, I was like, I want to start talking about it to start the or be a part of it. There were people talking about it, but not at that level. Yeah. And so I wanted to shine a light on it so we can start talking about it and turn it into a global thing. Now you fast forward 10 years in, we've done work with and I'm not saying this to highlight, well, actually I am. Because like sometimes when you have a moment like this on a podcast,
talk your talk.
Yeah, you can look at it and be like, reflect and be like, dang, it's actually working, or we're right where we need to be. Because that was the goal, was to start the conversation and make it a thing. And then just testifying in front of Congress, how do we take $1 billion and how should we be allocating to the school system and in the communities, right? There was only 5 people they chose to testify, and I was one. They haven't done that in 30 years. Doing work with the Forbes family, the Kennedy family, and the Vatican, the Pope, right? So there's been some cool moments there. So that's what I saw, right? And there's still a lot of work to do, and then we have a place in it forever. Like, you always have to go back to that moment, playing against the Giants and wearing lime green cleats and they getting fined for that. It's like, damn, like you're fining me for. And now every year we get 2-3 weeks where we can celebrate any cause that we want. Yeah. And I had to take that be on the front line to take that, which is a
Set the
kind
trend.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the story of my life, right? Like whether it's in mental health, which is near and dear to my heart, and then also in entrepreneurship, what we're doing in media and podcasts. Like when you're at the front line, you take those initial shots and bullets, and now it's like, can you survive to get to the other side?
Yeah. I'm glad you talked about it. I'm glad we are talking about mental health because when I decided to, and I found out this when I went to Boston, people couldn't have seasonal depressions. And when I left Miami to go up north, I was depressed when I got there because I'm like, you know, Boston is, you know, it's a great city, but it's always gloomy and it's, you know, really no sunshine a lot.
That's right.
Rain and
Yeah.
it's kind of remind you of London. And I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, bro, I'm like, it's tough for me. Like this is, I went to a phase like where it was hard for me to sleep at night. Like it was tough. And I thought, you know, back to what you were saying, like and I had to go talk to some of the doctors at the Patriots and was like,
Yeah.
man, like I need some medicine, I need something because I can't sleep. You know, I'm staying up at night. It's going to start affecting me the way I play. So I had to go do that deep diving and go talk to like, you know, psychiatrists and stuff like that to make sure I was good. My mental was checked in, but you know, like you said, I can believe it comes from childhood trauma, like just a lot of stuff that we don't, as men, come forward and talk about because we're afraid, and it's always labeled, you're a man, you don't supposed to do that, you do this and that, like you can't cry, you can't, but it's reality, like you carry all that weight, eventually it's gonna break.
Yeah, that's right.
Eventually
that's right.
eventually it's gonna break, and
That's
I remember I was at the PAO a couple of weeks ago with my wife. It's an NFL thing, they do a PAO, and James Winston was talking, and he was like, you know, sometimes before he traveled, he got to check in with God. He got to check in, and you know, I don't mean to be all spiritual, but that was a tough time in my life. Like I was calling my wife, like I can't sleep, like keeping her up late at night. Like I need you to stay on. I need you to be on the phone. I need this. Like it was tough. So I'm glad we was able to touch that, man, because mental health is really a thing that people struggle with, and depression they struggle with in life. Like it's a real thing.
How are you doing now? How do you manage? I call it performance, like mental fitness now.
I started, so what started helping me was I started sleeping with rain noises. And that helps me relax my anxiety. Like cool, like you know, so before I go to sleep, I like take like a couple deep breaths, and it helps me relax my, you know, like the nerve system got to be relaxed. You're not gonna go to sleep no time if your nerve system is all over the place. And taking away the phone at night, putting the phone on the side.
Yeah.
You know, like not having that light in my face, you know, so starting to, you know, the rain noise really helped me feel like I'm in a jungle or something, just hearing the rain, the thunder, and I love sleeping like that. So that helped me a lot. It was a struggle. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a struggle. Like, you know, didn't want to like really go and close my eyes, and you know, and now it trickled down to me making sure my kids are having healthier sleep. You know, my son don't stay up on the game all night. Like, you know, try to get some sleep. You know, he was struggling one night, and my wife called me. He was like, "Look, Davon, like he won't go to sleep," and I'm like, you know, I called his mom, and his mom was saying, put some rain noise on for him. We put some rain noise on for him to help him relax and go to sleep. But a lot of time it's the nerve system. If the nerve system is not calm, you won't be able to go to sleep. So
because of all this stimulation
going around, exactly.
This is why I love this conversation, because there's going to be people watching this and be like, oh, they can see themselves in it.
Yeah.
Right, and then they're going to start researching, doing work, because it hits all of us. When I gave you those numbers, bro, it affects so many people.
Yes.
And so when you talk about that stimulation hitting the nervous system, you know, all the titles that we walk through for me, right? Like, you have all of that you have to carry. And even as a man, because you mentioned that, you know, the hardest one is like father, then you throw in husband in there, right? There's a lot that comes with that, you know, and I'm not comparing men and women, but how do you navigate through all of that and still stay healthy and still stay strong, right?
Provider.
And balance. Yeah, and those are the things that, yes, provider, protector.
Yeah.
Those
no matter what, you still got to provide for the family. You could be going through whatever. You're the provider.
I don't care how you feel.
You're the provider.
Yeah, you got to provide.
Coach just cursed you out for missing the play. Got to come home and provide. You still got to be the provider.
Your back hurts.
Yeah.
I can't go.
Yeah.
You got to go. What you thinking about?
Yeah.
Providing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
There's so many more characteristics, and Jason Wilson has a book out and he walks through all the characteristics that we got to have as a man, to meet different moments, right? Because we're so dynamic. So yeah, bro, like mental health is so important. But the way I look at it now is more from a performance standpoint. And, you know, whether it's anxiety, you know, depression, bipolar, you know, borderline. Like there's so many terms out there and so many, you know, diagnoses out there. At the end of the day, yeah, all that. that's a trendy word right now.
I've been called that before.
Yeah. You know what? My approach to that is like sometimes when you're chasing greatness, you know, being an athlete, there's some selfishness that you have to embrace to get there, and it can create challenges for relationships and people around you. But that's a whole nother conversation. But you know, at the end of the day, whatever you're dealing with, you still have to perform.
Yep.
And you can perform if you manage and deal with it the right way. Like what you're saying, all right, I'm dealing with this. Let me figure it out. You went and talk to somebody, and then we start working on your sleep, and then now you have a routine that helps you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We'll get into some different topics. I know we've been, you know, kind of touched at home with mental health, but just knowing you, just watching you over the years, I know you have been big into fashion, and I know you got swag. What is fashion to Brandon Marshall?
Yeah. Actually, I am not into fashion.
That's a lie.
No, but no, you'll appreciate this because this is why I appreciate you. Like the next phase for me is to walk in the rooms that you're walking in now. You know, go to shows, learn about these things.
Yep.
What I appreciate about you is that you have style. See, you understand fashion, and you have style. Those are two different things. Me. An excuse, like I just took this out the closet today. We're in the studio, and I was like, "Yo,
that's chic, man. Right. Nice, clean, and chic.
Real simple, right? But
Chuck Taylors.
There you go. So, style. I feel like I have style.
What is style to you?
Style is it's counterculture to trends.
Okay.
Right? Like you going in and dressing like everyone else, or everybody say this is it, and you follow that. That's trendy. And that can even lean into fashion, right? Style is, this is what I like.
Yep.
I don't care what you like or what you say, this is what I like. There's times, man, I'll just walk in the closet, be 10 minutes before I got to get out, and I'll find a piece. It's like, all right, this is the statement, and then whatever else happens, right? So I'll just put it together. Like, I believe in pieces. I like that pant. I like that top. Oh, these are nice shoes, which I got to do a better job of, you know, investing in like the right shoe, because I think I can be more dynamic there.
Yeah.
But I like taste, quality. Yeah. You know, I don't like to do too much, you know, logos and all that. I'm more of a minimalist. You know what I'm saying?
If you know, you know.
Yeah, like I'm style, but I see myself getting into fashion though. I really do. You're there.
So when you say fashion, it's more of what, high end, like, you know. How
you
would
know
you
the
describe?
Designers.
Got it.
You're going to, you know the designers. You say the fashion houses. Like what? Like I've never been to a fashion house. You are in Paris. You're sitting there.
I'm blessed to be there, man.
Yeah, it's a dope thing.
I'm blessed to be there. It's an experience. It's an experience. And if I was to not go again, I'm cool with that because I have already experienced that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really pressed to be like, okay, let's go. Like I see some guys like it's just like, okay, let's go. Like it's no disrespect to nobody. It's a lot of guys go to Paris, don't even be in fashion. Yeah. They just go used to go. Yeah, I mean, like when it's fashion week.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Paris is a free place to go. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying a lot of people go for fashion week,
right?
And they're not even doing no shows. And it's like you know, like so I'm gonna spend money going there, and it's like I got to a point where now I'm like. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm not going if they're not like paying. Like, like Balenci got money. Louis, if they're not paying for a hotel, transportation, flight, like I'm good. Like I'm
see that's
the last Louis show I went to. The first two, we got invited. We paid for our hotel. And, you know, we got like the Amex points and all that. Yeah. I try to do it the cheap route all the time. I try to use all my points. I try to do it all. Use all my points. My wife like say, I'm like, no, this is the time to use them. Yeah. So. you know, you go to the shows. The last Louis show I went to, I said they pay for the hotel, and the transportation is the one that costs you because if you want Ubers all up and down like to go in the store, I'm like they pay for transportation. So I was like, I'm good.
Oh, see, that's
I'm
fashion.
like that's how it's supposed to be though. If I invite you to my house, I'm probably gonna have you a cooked meal. I'm gonna get on the grill for you.
Yeah.
We gonna grill. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you to like, hey Brandon, hey man, can you bring some food over so I can cook? Yeah. No, I'm gonna have the food and I'm gonna cook it. We gonna probably have a drink. We gonna, you know, just do what men do. But I'm not gonna, don't invite me somewhere and don't be able like to prepare. Like I can get me and my wife got a deal where we get, you know, her mom was a flight attendant, so we get United flights half off, you know. So if a flight is $2,000, I'm probably paying $1,000 for a first class ticket, maybe a round trip if I get lucky enough. You know what I'm saying? So I'm blessed to have that. But if you can take care of my hotel and my travel and my that's airport pickup, all that.
What's your best fashion week experience?
Virgil last show. I was blessed to go there. Kendrick Lamar did the.
Oh wow.
He did the. It was the FAMU band actually, and Kendrick Lamar was he was on the mic right outside Naomi Campbell. I'll never forget. That was my first Louis show. That was like 3-4 years ago. My first Louis show. Virgil last show. He was already dead, and that was his last show. The FAMU band was there. Kendrick Lamar, you know, he had like the little Jesus crown thing around his head.
Yep.
That was my best show. That was my best show.
Wow.
And Pharrell has done some amazing shows, but Virgil, I don't feel like nobody can replace Virgil. Bro.
Really?
He was special, bro. He was just, he opened doors for Pharrell. I mean, he opened doors for a lot of people, and you know, can't nobody replace that. I mean, that's just, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He was ahead of his time. So, one more thing I want to ask you, probably one or two more things. If you had to name, I'm gonna put you on the spot right here, like they put me on the spot earlier with the ranking and the dressing.
Yeah.
Name your. Oh, you ain't got to. Give me your top 5. It could be in any order. Best dressed NFL players.
NFL players.
It could be in any order. It could be in any order.
Adams.
Okay, that's one.
You like it?
That's one. Go. That's one.
I love Jamal Adams. Yeah. You know. So listen, let me tell you who's out there really quickly.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you who I appreciate and love.
Yeah.
So you have the ones we all talk about.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs over the last couple of years have really like became a face football in fashion. Mm-hmm. Then you have Odell who's out there. You have I mean there's so many players, but those are some big names.
Yep.
I love Jamal Adams. T. Higgins is a guy that I think if he really wanted to go there,
I feel like he'd just be laid back with it though.
But bro, you see what I see?
Yeah. I feel like he'd be laid back with it though. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna dress, but then I'm gonna just be chill, like, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's
there's moments where it's like, it's just different.
Yeah.
It's different. So my guys, I would say is you, Jamal, T. Higgins.
Yeah.
I love linebacker for the Ravens.
Raekwon Smith.
Yeah. Right? See, I'm a classic guy.
Yeah.
I love quality.
Yeah.
I love, just because I got money, I got money now I got all it on. No, I'm picking the guys that without money, still gonna be fly.
So that's why,
Right? So him, you, Jamal Adams.
It's a couple names I've done though.
Yeah, who else am I missing?
But
who's been on Game Fits? You got who? Yeah, no.
I mean, we got Lerman Tunsil.
Yeah. I'll throw Tunsil in there as well. Like, and a lot of times we separate y'all.
Yeah.
Big man swag, and then you got the little guys.
But I feel like it should be all together.
It is. That's why I put you in Tunsil.
It should be all together. Like it always should be all together.
All right, here we go. You number 1. Tunsil 2.
Okay.
I'm going Jamal Adams 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 4. I'll give Diggs. That's not like my flow, my style, but I'll put Diggs in there. He's been in his bag the last couple years. Mm-hmm. 5. Gosh, I'm missing someone, man.
You're right, but I'm trying to name them. I'm trying to think about it too. Like, who we missing?
I mean, but everybody know how to.
Yeah, everybody's different though.
They got stylists too.
Yeah. I like Marco Wilson. He got swag. You probably don't know. I mean, yo, he got some swag. I mean, D Hop is classic. Yeah, D Hop is classic.
And he has
like,
his own lane.
He's like, if you know, you know. Like
That's right.
he do what he do.
He might be wearing a designer from Japan or something.
It works well for him. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. D Hop. I mean, Ray McLeod.
Ray McLeod.
He be
been on
yeah. He be bringing some swag. I mean, it's just like you like what you like. Like I want to spend all day, but it's just like you. If you know, you like what you like. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what fits you might not fit that person. So you like what you like.
But I like to set the what's the criteria? You know what I mean? So like I'm okay with having. I just don't like this is the hottest thing, it's the trend, or it's expensive. I'm putting that on anybody can do
Facts. Yeah, anybody can do that. What is like you say, style?
Yeah.
Like give me some style, give me some taste.
Yeah.
Like give me don't just do this because it's man, you look like the mannequin.
You know
like,
what
don't
it
do
is? Look, here's my thing. There's runway when you walk into the stadium. That's runway to me for as an athlete. Outside of like red carpet stuff.
Yeah, that's your chance to do the runway. Yeah.
But what I'm really looking at is when you walk into a restaurant and you got the women like, oh my God, and then you also got the men like, man, where you get that from?
That happens plenty times. Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to accomplish. Yeah. Forget all the other stuff. Oh man, that's the Louis Vuitton. You can't get these. Yeah. Or these shoes ain't released yet. Yeah. Anybody can do that.
Anybody can do that. You got money, exactly.
Nah, when I walk in a room, and then also smell me too.
Yeah.
You got into the fragrance yet?
Yeah, I love wearing Chanel. I love wearing. I got a couple fragrances I love wearing, but that's one of my top ones for sure.
Yeah.
But what are some, last question I have for you before I wrap it up. What are 5 essentials that you can't live without?
5 essentials that I can't live without.
Like you traveling, I gotta have this.
Gotta have this. All right. 5 essentials that I can't live without. Workout. So can I put that in there?
Yeah, workout gear.
Oh, it's like things.
Like things for me, it's like sunglasses or like like for me, like I travel, my speaker gotta have that.
You gotta have that.
Cause I gotta go if I'm going to an island, I might want to listen to some music while I'm at the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta, just whatever. Like I gotta.
Okay, perfect. So I have these skull shades, but they have speakers inside. And the reason why,
I ain't got those.
That's why I said
I ain't got those.
Yeah, okay. These are simple though. These is like because I like to run, but I can also put them on, do a workout outside, or do a workout in the gym, and it's right there.
All right, that's one.
Right. So my skull,
sunshades that you can listen to music with
speakers, workout in. So it's that. That's one. Number 2, I would say a watch. Right.
Okay.
Like I feel naked without a watch. Yeah. I don't see you have no.
I got some rings on. I got no watch on right now.
Okay, so a watch. That's number 2. Number 3, my iPad.
Okay, businessman.
But I'm gonna put my iPad and my notebook together because I gotta do both. I like the mind map on my iPad, so all my ideas, I'm traveling, everything that comes up, I like to go in there and put it all there. But I also write a lot. Yeah. Okay. The 4th was any book that I'm reading.
Okay.
So I'm a big reader. So that's 4. And then 5, I would say essential. Man.
Yeah, 4.
Then I would have to go my Sony headphones. Those are different than
the shades.
What I work out in and I train in. Because like I hate being on the plane and not having my sound, my music.
You're not gonna bring a toothbrush?
Bro, see what I'm saying? See?
I'm joking.
That was good. You was waiting on that.
Oh man. All right, so that's 5 things, man.
I'll travel sometimes and go with nothing. Outside of like those essentials, that's why I love those.
So you're gonna buy whatever city you go to?
Bro, I gotta go like clothes, underwear. I'm like, I just shoot over and just be like, boom, I'll just go get something there.
Got it. So happy to have you on the show, man. It's been amazing, wrapping it up with you, chopping with you. It's been great, man. Hopefully we can do this more, for sure.
Yeah, Chalk Talk.
Chalk Talk. So glad to have you. Appreciate it, man. My guy. Thank you guys for tuning in to Chalk Talk. I want to give a special shout out to Brandon Marshall for joining the show today. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Can't wait for you guys to see the next show. Peace.